I've got my steamer on, and for dinner tonight we're going to be having all fresh produce, some white potatoes, green string beans, and quite a bit of broccoli. And then on the top shelf here is baby spinach. For my mom, she likes it with vinegar and butter. So yeah, it's going to be all veg tonight, and that is good because today's, I think it's called World Vegetarian Day, where everybody tries to be vegetarian today, if you know of the holidays. I was just getting ready to put these books back on the shelf. What I do from time to time is I grab a new book and then I sort of just, go through different chapters, get information I can, and then sort of put them back on the shelf when I'm done. But I've been sort of a little bit lazy here, and I've got a ton piled up. So before I put them back, I was just going to kind of show you books that help me. As for diabetes, the Canadian Type 2 Diabetes book. This is the very first book I bought when I was diagnosed, and yeah, it's full of information, and I like the fact that it's Canadian just because the blood sugar numbers and everything else is like Canadian, so I understand it. Another book I have is a cookbook, Hypertension, so it's good for heart health. It does have a lot of information about blood pressure and things like that, like more than just recipes. It's got quite a bit of information at the beginning here. And gardening. Well, because I live in a condo, I don't really garden much, so this book is a little bit useless to me. The only thing I find interesting is reading about herbs, growing your own herbs, so that's something that I want to start to do eventually. Yeah, this book weighs like, oh my goodness, it's super duper heavy. And Eat This and Live. This is a really interesting book. Let's see. It basically just gives information about pretty much anything you could want, and it doesn't go in too much depth, just gives a bit of an explanation, enough so you can sort of, get the hint of good and bad. But they talk about the bad, and then they do go through the book, and there's a bunch about good foods and minerals and vitamins and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, this is one of my favorites, and I tend to, go back and read it quite a bit just to refer to it. And this one is something I've never actually read front to back yet, the Nutrition Bible. I bought all of these books at Chapters, which is Chapters or Indigo. I just did it through the internet. So yeah, this book is just packed full with information and everything you'd want to know about nutrition, I would assume. Oh, I don't know what that's doing there. Sears catalog. I'm going to get rid of that so I'm not tempted to buy anything. Alright, this one here is the Bipolar workbook. So it's got a bit of reading material, but then you would fill things out. And I find it okay, except mostly it focuses on people with bipolar type 1. And I have bipolar type 2. So they are quite different between 1 and 2. My mom is type 1, so this book is sort of more helpful for her. Although when you talk about depression and other things, it is, quite similar. It's just the whole mania, hypomania thing is quite different. But yeah, I've been working my way through this book for probably 2 years. Just, you get the motivation to pick it up and work on it a bit, and then you lose motivation, or depression kind of overcomes you and you don't want to do it anymore, but then you always go back to it. So this is kind of what I do with these self-help books. This book is my favorite Dr. Phil. I have every single one of Dr. Phil's books. Relationship Rescue, that is actually a book I bought with my boyfriend. This is my ex-boyfriend now, but yeah, we tried to go through this together. Anyways, the thing about this book is, even if you're single, it has a lot of information. Like, you get to know yourself through the questions that it asks, and it's really interesting. And then this one is Dr. Phil's Self Matters. I pulled off the cover. I have no idea where it is. Oh, this is a companion. So this is a Self Matters workbook, which I've had this for, oh boy, a lot of years. And I've worked through it now and then. So, yeah, see, I've got writing in there and 10 defining moments. And this is a really excellent book for kind of trying to figure out who you are and everything. All right, and the last book to go back is Why Am I Still Depressed? This actually focuses on people with bipolar 2. So that's what I have. So I find that there's not a whole lot of books out there for people with bipolar 2. So I was excited to find this one. It was actually recommended to me by someone on the internet, actually, in a forum or a message board. So I purchased it, and it's very, very helpful. I can relate to quite a bit of what it says, which is good. The reason it's good is because for a long time, I just didn't know what was wrong with me. And finally, when you get a diagnosis and you learn to sort of accept it better and everything, it is a relief to know that, there's a reason why I feel the way I feel, and it's not just me, you know what I mean? So yeah, anyway, this is written by Jim Phelps. So there is my stack of books. I've got to put them back on the shelf. And one of these days I'll take you right into my closet, because that's where I keep my bookshelves. And I can go through them because I have a ton of books and a ton of magazines too. I hang on to the magazines because they're good. You can cut them out and do collages and dream boards and all that kind of stuff. So I always hang on to magazines. Alright guys, I think that's it. I'm going to head to bed shortly. Thanks for watching.